Hello everyone, welcome back to channel once again. So we are going to start our GS paper 2 foundation course for constitution, polity and governance. So before we proceed further, let's see its syllabus. As you can see, I have shared a syllabus of GS paper 1 over here. In this, it is mentioned Indian polity, governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policies, right issue, etc. So as you can see from syllabus, the syllabus is defined in a vague term. It is not divided into micro theme. So what you can do from your end, just pick any of the standard syllabus of any coaching in which theme wise everything is divided. For example, for polity, there are various subheading like fundamental right, DPSP, all that. Within fundamental right, how fundamental right has evolved, what are its aim and objective, from where we inherited fundamental right. So right to equality from article 14 to article 18, right to freedom from article 19 to 22. Like this you can demarcate a syllabus into micro theme. Similarly, we should see syllabus for mains also. So in GS paper 2, it consists of governance, constitution, polity, which we will deal in our video series. And there are certain different subjects also like social justice and international relation. So for mains, you can see that syllabus is quite elaborate. Everything has given properly, like separation of power between various organs of government, comparison of Indian constitution with that of the other countries. So here you need not to worry that much as compared to prelims, because in that syllabus has not been described properly. So by analyzing previous year's question paper, you can develop a theme for prelims as well as mains, from where every time they are asking question. In this, I have attached a infographic chart for your reference purpose, that every year UPSC asking different number of questions from polity. Like in 2016, they have asked 7 questions. In 2017, they have asked 22 questions. Then in 2018, they have asked 13 questions. So the number of questions in prelims, it is varying year wise. But on an average, if you analyze properly, UPSC is asking from 16 to 18 question every year. And as you know, the weightage of GS1 paper is of 200 marks. So your 30 to 40% of paper source is from polity. So it's one of the most crucial subject, and it's one of the pillar forming the foundation of prelim syllabus. So in my opinion, if you are thorough with your polity, you will be easily able to crack your prelims. For your reference purpose only, here I have given cutoff also of last 5 years. As across the categories, you can notice in last 5 years, average cutoff was less than 47 net question. So basically you need to on a safer side, you need to solve 50 to 55 net correct question and you will sail through your prelims. So in my opinion, I think polity play a major role, because here you have limited resources and your input output ratio is quite good. Similarly, here I have attached mains weightage, like Indian polity and constitution. Every year 50% of the questions are being asked from these two subjects. Then 15% remaining will be asked from governance. So combining Indian polity, constitution and governance, you get a weightage of total around 65 to 70% of your GS paper 2, which is of 250 marks. So I hope you are getting an idea what I am trying to explain you over here. Now, as you can see, I have shared a picture of various NCERT and a standard book. So a question would be coming to your mind, what's the purpose of sharing all these books? Here, as you can see, NCERT, and here various standard book like M. Lakshmikant, D.D. Basu, Subhash Kashyap, then Constitution Network. So by showing this picture, what I want to say, as you know that for your UPSC, you have to study more than a dozen of book. So you cannot read each and every book line by line. And by the time you know what is important for exam and what is not important for exam, it becomes quite late. So being an experience in this field, I know from where you have to study and what you have to study and what you have to skip. So my experience would help you to eliminate unnecessary things where you are going to waste your time. So I will be explaining each and everything related to polity, constitution and governance in the form of a story, so that everything will be interlinked with each other. And in form of a story, when I will explain you each and every topic, so it will stick to your mind. I will give you real-time example so that you can correlate it. Like for federal character, I will give certain example. So with real-time and real-life example, concept will be very crystal clear to you. And UPSC has a habit, like earlier they used to ask very simple question, but now they are not asking a straightforward simple question. What they are doing, they are asking some conceptual question, and along with concept they are adding the current news thing also in statement, or in mains also, like they are asking the analytical part. So if you are not clear with that conceptual part, it will be very easy for you to forget whatever you have studied. Once you are thorough with your conceptual part, you can understand each and every line which is given in current magazine or newspaper. You can understand between the lines which are not being mentioned properly. So without wasting much of our time, let's start our this course. हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू चैनल वंस अगेन। तो हम लोग पहले क्लास से अपना ये कोर्स स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वुड बी, व्हाट इज़ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? आराम से टाइम लेके आप लोग बताओ लेमन टर्म में कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किसको बोलते हैं। बुकिश डेफिनेशन नहीं चाहिए यहाँ पे, सिंपल डेफिनेशन जो भी आपको पता हो। So can I say that constitution is nothing but simply a rule book, a powerhouse from which our different organs of state derive their authority? Can I say that it is supreme law of the land, fundamental in the governance of any country? So अभी इसका एक ओवरव्यू हम लोग लेंगे, बहुत ज़्यादा टेक्निकल टर्म में डेफिनेशन नहीं देखने वाले हैं, क्योंकि आई नो मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर फ्रॉम नॉन पॉलिटी बैकग्राउंड. सो वी विल ऐड स्लोली वन बाय वन. So as I have said, it is supreme law of the land and fundamental for the governance of any country. So what could be the source of power for our constitution? What will be its source? So how many of you are aware with the our preamble? Like, what is the first line given in our preamble? I think this is the first line given in our preamble. We the people of India. So ultimately the source of power for constitution is we the people of our country. They are the source of power. So now it would be clear to you, like, what is the source of power for constitution. So is it possible for any country to exist without constitution? Can any country exist without constitution? Just answer in yes or no. I hope most of you are saying yes, which is correct. See, what's the role of constitution? Constitution is a rule book or basic law. So for functioning of any country, we required different sets of law. So I will explain you with a simple example. Suppose you are going to play cricket. In that game, there are various rules defined from the beginning only. Like in cricket, you know, there are two teams. In each team there are 11 players. So suppose in cricket कुछ भी डिफाइन नहीं हो, like what is called batsman, number of ball in over. If these things are not defined, like no rules and regulation are defined for cricket, so it would be practically impossible for anybody to play that game. Not only cricket, any game be it be. Without rule we cannot play any game, because they are basic requirement. so that we can play. So to avoid arbitrary law or rule regulation in any game, basic rules are required. So I hope it is clear what's the role of constitution in the governance of any country. How many of you have gone through previous year's question paper? There was a term which was constitutionalism. It sounds similar to constitution, but there is a lot of difference between these two things. Like, ism is generally denoted with ideology. It is associated with kind of ideology. So constitutionalism was asked earlier, what's the meaning of constitutionalism? In simple term, I can say that constitutionalism is nothing but rule of law. Like I explained you in a cricket example, that only 6 balls will be thrown in a over. So constitutionalism means following the rule. If to frame any law, there are 4 steps, and it is like in this order. If somebody is following all the steps in a chronological way, then it is termed as rule of law. And suppose same step somebody is not following properly, he is following randomly, then you can say that it is not under rule of law. Here the procedure is being followed in an arbitrary manner, like the way the person want to implement. So rule of law is very important concept. And where it is required? It is required for both government as well as citizens. In general, it is treated for government, so that government has limited power, work for the welfare of people, it should not exercise power in such a way that it suppress the rights of citizen and deprive them from their fundamental right. So I hope till here it is clear. So before we proceed further, in how many ways we can amend constitution? So our constitution can be amended in how many ways? Amendment is nothing but, in simple term, I can tell you that is any kind of change in our constitution, whether it's addition, subtraction, omission, any kind of change in our constitution, that is termed as amendment in polity term. For example, there was a word socialist and secular added in our preamble from 42nd amendment in 1976. So constitution can be amended by making any change, whether it be comma, full stop, any word addition, some spelling change, anything, any kind of change can be termed as constitution amendment. So in formal sense, constitution is generally amended by our legislature. To be precise, that is parliament. But informally, it is changed by our constitutional courts. Constitutional courts means Supreme Court and High Courts. How? By their judgments or by directions given to Parliament. Example of this, basic structure doctrine. 1973. I hope till now everything is clear to you.